Jennifer Kim spent 40 years feeling incomplete, the only Asian face in her white family's photos. Now, at 3:17 a.m., staring at her phone screen, she finally understood why. Jennifer's hands trembled as she stared at the tiny hospital bracelet in her laptop screen. Across the world in Seoul, her half-sister Ji-won held it up to the webcam, the yellowed plastic catching the light. "Mother keeps this. 40 years, Ji-won said in broken English, tears streaming down her face. "Your name? Baby girl Lee." Jennifer couldn't breathe. This small piece of plastic was the only proof she'd ever existed to the woman who gave birth to her. For 40 years, through marriage, raising another daughter, moving apartments, changing lives, Lee Sun had kept it. Jennifer touched her laptop screen as if she could reach through and hold it. But let's go back to where this all started. Jennifer Kim had always known she was adopted. Her white parents in suburban Chicago never hid it from her. They loved her fiercely, completely. But love doesn't fill every empty space. At family gatherings, she'd catch herself in mirrors, the only Asian face in a sea of pale skin and light eyes. At school, kids asked why she didn't look like her mom. She learned to smile and explain, but the question that haunted her was one she couldn't answer. Who did she look like? On the morning of her 40th birthday, Jennifer stood in her bathroom, studying her reflection. Dark eyes, high cheekbones, straight black hair now threaded with silver. She traced the lines of her face, searching for someone she'd never met. "Mom, Dad's making pancakes," her daughter Emma called from downstairs. Jennifer smiled. She had a beautiful life. A husband who adored her, 2 kids who filled their home with chaos and joy, a successful marketing career. But today, turning 40, that old familiar ache pressed harder against her chest. Half her life was gone, and she still didn't know where she came from. The birthday party that afternoon was everything Mark had planned: friends, family, her favorite lemon cake. But when he handed her a small wrapped box, something in his expression made her pause. "Open it," he said softly. Inside was a DNA test kit. Jennifer's throat tightened. "Mark. You don't have to," he said quickly. "But maybe it's time to find some answers. Whatever you discover, we're here. I'm here." That night, after everyone left and the kids were asleep, Jennifer sat at the kitchen table, the test kit in front of her. Her hands shook as she read the instructions. One small tube of saliva. That's all it took. One small choice that could change everything or nothing. She sealed the envelope at 11:47 p.m. and dropped it in the mailbox before she could change her mind. The waiting was torture. 6 weeks of obsessively checking her email, jumping at every notification. Mark would find her at 2 a.m., laptop open, refreshing the DNA company's website. "Jen, baby, come to bed," he'd say gently. "What if there's no one?" she'd whisper. "What if I'm just alone in this?" "You're not alone. You have us." But they both knew that wasn't what she meant. The email came on a Tuesday at 3:17 a.m. Jennifer happened to be awake, couldn't sleep, scrolling mindlessly through her phone. The notification banner made her heart stop. "Your DNA results are ready." Her finger hovered over the screen. This was it. The moment that would tell her if anyone out there shared her blood, her history, her face. She tapped. Loading. Loading. And then. "You have one close family match." Jennifer gasped so loudly she woke Mark. "What? What is it?" he mumbled. "I have a match," she breathed. "A sister. A half-sister. Park Ji-won. 50% DNA match. Location, Seoul, South Korea." Jennifer's hands shook so violently she nearly dropped the phone. Somewhere in South Korea, there was a woman who shared her blood. A sister. She had a sister. For 3 days, Jennifer stared at Ji-won's profile, trying to find the courage to send a message. What do you say to a stranger who's also family? What if Ji-won didn't want contact? What if this opened doors that should stay closed? Finally, at midnight on Friday, fueled by wine and desperation, Jennifer typed, "Hello. I think we might be related. My name is Jennifer Kim. I was adopted from South Korea in 1982. She hit send before she could delete it. The response came 6 hours later. I always know I have sister. Mother told me. She never forget you. Jennifer read the message 20 times. Mother told me. She never forget you. Her birth mother knew about her. Had talked about her. Had remembered. If you're feeling the emotion right now, hit that subscribe button and join us for more incredible stories. You won't want to miss what happens next. The video calls started immediately. With the time difference, Ji-won's morning was Jennifer's evening. They'd meet across their screens, two women separated by an ocean and a language barrier, trying to piece together a story that began before either of them could remember. Ji-won was 30, 10 years younger than Jennifer. She spoke limited English, and Jennifer knew no Korean. Google Translate became their bridge, though it often mangled their meaning into confusing fragments. Our mother, Ji-won said carefully during their third call. She was very young. 16. Very scared. What happened? Jennifer asked, leaning closer to her screen. Ji-won's face crumpled. Family very traditional. Very strict. She hide pregnancy. Go to hospital alone. Agency come. They say baby go to America, have better life. She sign papers. She crying. She very crying. Jennifer felt like someone had punched her chest. A 16-year-old girl, alone and terrified, giving away her baby. Did she want to give me up? No. Ji-won said fiercely. No want. But no choice. You understand? In 1982, Korea very different. Young mother, no husband, family shame. She have no choice. Jennifer wiped her eyes. Does she know about me now? Does she know you found me? Ji-won nodded, fresh tears falling. She know. She very. I don't know English word. Very strong feeling. Happy and sad together. Emotional. Yes. Very emotional. She want to meet you. She wait 40 years to meet you. The words hit Jennifer like a wave. Her birth mother wanted to meet her. After 4 decades, she wanted to see the baby she'd let go. Jennifer, Ji-won said, her voice urgent. Wait. I show you something. She disappeared from the screen. Jennifer waited, heart pounding. When Ji-won returned, she held a small wooden box. Mother keeps this. Never throw away. She say when my daughter come back, I give to her. Ji-won opened the box slowly. Inside was a tiny hospital bracelet, the kind they put on newborns. Yellowed with age, the plastic brittle, but the Korean characters were still visible. Baby girl Lee. November 15th, 1982, Ji-won read. Your birth date. Your name before adoption. And that's when Jennifer saw it, really saw it. For 40 years, through everything, her birth mother had kept the only piece of her she had left. Not in a drawer, forgotten. In a special box. Waiting. She never forget you, Ji-won whispered. Every year, your birthday, she light candle. She wonder where you are, what you look like, if you happy, if you think of her. Jennifer sobbed. 40 years of candles. 40 years of wondering. 40 years of a love that never died, even when they'd never been together. I want to meet her, Jennifer said through her tears. I want to meet my mother. Ji-won smiled, crying too. She waiting. Always waiting for you. Planning the trip took 3 weeks. Jennifer had to arrange time off work, prepare her kids for her absence, and confront her own terror. What if the reunion was awkward? What if they had nothing to say to each other? What if 40 years was too long, the gap too wide? Mark held her the night before her flight. You're doing the right thing, he said. She's been waiting for you. And you've been waiting for her, even if you didn't know it. At O'Hare Airport, Jennifer's kids clung to her. Bring us back a grandma, Emma said, trying to smile through tears. I'll try, baby, Jennifer whispered. The 15-hour flight to Seoul felt endless. Jennifer couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. She kept checking her phone, looking at the photo Ji-won had sent their mother, Lee Sun, at 56. Jennifer studied every detail. The shape of her eyes. The curve of her smile. These were her features, her genes, the face she'd inherited but never seen. When the plane finally touched down at Incheon Airport, Jennifer's legs nearly gave out. She was in Korea. Her birth country. The place she'd left as a 3-month-old baby. Ji-won waited at arrivals with a young woman named Minute, who'd volunteered to translate. When Ji-won saw Jennifer, she covered her mouth and burst into tears. They hugged awkwardly, strangers who were sisters, trying to compress a lifetime of missed connection into one embrace. "You look like her," Ji-won kept saying. "So much like her." In the car to Ji-won's apartment, Jennifer stared out the window at Seoul. Neon signs in Hangul, streets packed with people who looked like her. For the first time in her life, she wasn't the different one. She blended in. She belonged, at least physically. "Mother is very nervous," Ji-won said. "She clean apartment 5 times. She cook all day. She change clothes many times." "I'm terrified," Jennifer admitted. Minute, the translator, turned from the front seat. "Mrs. Lee is terrified too. She's afraid you'll hate her for giving you away." "Hate her?" Jennifer's voice cracked. "I could never." "She doesn't know that," Minute said gently. "She's carried this guilt for 40 years. They pulled up to an ordinary apartment building in a quiet neighborhood. Jennifer stared up at it, paralyzed. Somewhere in that building, on the 4th floor, was the woman who'd given birth to her. The woman who'd kept a hospital bracelet for 4 decades. The woman who'd lit candles every November 15th. "I can't move," Jennifer whispered. Ji-won took her hand. "She scared too. But she love you. She always love you." They rode the elevator in silence. Jennifer watched the numbers climb. 3. 4. The doors opened. Apartment 402 was at the end of the hall. Ji-won knocked softly. The door opened. And there she was. Lee Sun stood in the doorway, smaller than Jennifer expected, her hair streaked with gray, wearing a simple blue dress. But her eyes were Jennifer's eyes. The same shape, the same depth, staring back at her across 40 years of separation. Time stopped. Sun's hand rose to her mouth. A sound escaped her, half sob, half gasp. "Jennifer, she whispered. Jennifer couldn't move, couldn't breathe. This was her mother. Her birth mother. The woman whose body had formed hers, whose heartbeat she'd heard from the inside. Sun stepped forward, trembling, and touched Jennifer's face with shaking fingers. She traced Jennifer's cheekbones, her jawline, her forehead, as if confirming she was real. Tears poured down both their faces. Then Sun pulled Jennifer into her arms and held on like she'd never let go. Jennifer collapsed into her, 40 years of questions dissolving into this moment. Sun was speaking rapidly in Korean, her voice breaking, her body shaking with sobs. She held Jennifer's face in her hands, kissing her forehead, her cheeks, her hair. Minute translated through her own tears. "She's saying I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to let you go. Every day I thought about you. Every birthday, every holiday, every moment. I wondered where you were, if you were happy, if you hated me. I'm so sorry. Tell her I don't hate her," Jennifer sobbed. "Tell her I understand. Tell her I'm grateful she gave me life, even if she couldn't keep me. Tell her I love her." When Minute translated, Sun let out a wail and pulled Jennifer close again. They stood in the doorway, holding each other, 2 women who'd been separated before Jennifer could even remember, finding each other again. Ji-won gently guided them inside. The apartment was small but immaculate, and the coffee table was covered with food, Korean dishes Jennifer didn't recognize but whose smells stirred something deep in her memory. Sun wouldn't let go of Jennifer's hand. She kept touching her, staring at her, crying. She spoke to Ji-won, who translated. "She says you're so beautiful. She says you look successful and happy, and that's all she ever wanted. She says she can see in your eyes that you've had a good life." "I have," Jennifer said. "I was loved. My parents loved me so much. But there was always a piece missing. And now." She looked at Sun. "Now I understand what was missing." Sun spoke again, more urgently this time. Minute translated, "She wants you to know why she gave you up. She needs you to understand. For the next hour, with Minute translating, Sana told her story. 16 years old, pregnant by a boyfriend who disappeared. Parents who would have disowned her. A society that treated unwed mothers as shameful. The agency workers who promised Jennifer would have opportunities in America that she'd never have in Korea. The crushing pressure, the impossible choice. I held you for 2 hours after you were born, Sana said through Minute, her eyes locked on Jennifer's. 2 hours. They let me hold you and feed you once. You were so perfect. So small. You had my eyes. And then they took you. I never saw you again. She reached for the wooden box on the table and opened it. The hospital bracelet lay inside. Before they took you, I took this off your wrist. They didn't notice. It was the only piece of you I could keep. I've kept it close to me for 40 years. I told myself that someday, somehow, you'd come back. And if you did, I'd give it to you and tell you that I never stopped loving you. Not for one single day. Sana took Jennifer's wrist gently and tied the bracelet around it. The plastic was brittle, barely holding together, but it fit just barely around Jennifer's adult wrist. You were always mine, Sana whispered in Korean. Minute translated, even across the ocean, even in another family, you were always my daughter. You were always in my heart. Jennifer looked down at the bracelet, baby girl Lee, and something inside her that had been broken her entire life suddenly felt whole. If this story is touching your heart, please like this video and leave a comment telling us what family means to you. Your engagement helps us share more stories like Jennifer's. They spent the rest of the day together. Sana showed Jennifer photo albums, pictures of her own childhood, so Jennifer could see where she came from. Pictures of Jiwon growing up, so Jennifer could see the sister she'd missed. A family tree that now included Jennifer's name, written in both English and Korean. Sana cooked for them, pressing food on Jennifer constantly. She says you're too thin, Jiwon laughed. All Korean mothers think this. Jennifer tried everything, even dishes that seemed strange to her American palate. Each bite felt like reclaiming something. This was her culture, her heritage, the food her ancestors had eaten. She belonged to this. As the sun set, they moved to the small balcony. Sana and Jennifer sat side by side, watching Seoul's lights come on across the city. They didn't need Minute to translate anymore. Some conversations happen in silence. Sana took Jennifer's hand and held it in her lap. She stroked it gently, memorizing every line and callus. Jennifer leaned her head on Sana's shoulder. Saranghae, Sana whispered. Jennifer didn't know Korean, but somehow, she understood. I love you. I love you too, she whispered back. They sat there as darkness fell, two women who'd lost 40 years but found each other anyway. The city hummed around them, but in that moment, the world had narrowed to just them, mother and daughter, finally together. Before Jennifer left that night, Sana pressed a small package into her hands. Inside was a traditional Korean hanbok, silk and beautiful, in deep red and gold. For you, Sana said through Minute, so you remember you are Korean. So you remember you are mine. Jennifer hugged her, breathing in her scent, jasmine and something indefinable, something that felt like home. I'll come back, Jennifer promised. This isn't goodbye. I'll come back. Sana nodded, crying again, but smiling through the tears. I know. I waited 40 years. I can wait for you to come back. On the plane home, Jennifer couldn't stop touching the bracelet on her wrist. Baby girl Lee. That's who she'd been before she became Jennifer Kim. That's who she still was, underneath everything else. She'd spent 40 years wondering who she was, where she came from, why she felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. Now she knew. She came from a scared 16-year-old who'd made an impossible choice out of love. She came from a woman who'd carried grief and hope for 40 years, keeping a hospital bracelet like a promise. She came from Korea, from a culture and history she was only beginning to understand. The adoption had given her one family. The DNA test had given her another. And somehow, impossibly, she belonged to both. When Jennifer got home, Mark and the kids were waiting at the airport. Emma ran to her, hugging her tight. Did you find her? Did you find your mom? Jennifer smiled through happy tears. I did. And she's wonderful. And she can't wait to meet you. We have a Korean grandma now? Emma asked, eyes wide. You do. And an aunt. And a whole other family that wants to know you. That night, after the kids were asleep, Jennifer sat with Mark and showed him everything, photos, videos, the hanbok, the bracelet. Are you okay? He asked gently. Jennifer thought about it. Was she okay? She'd just had her entire identity expanded, her understanding of herself fundamentally changed. She'd met the woman who gave birth to her, heard the story of her own beginning, seen her face reflected in someone else's for the first time. I'm more than okay, she said finally. I'm whole. For the first time in my life, I'm whole. She returns to Seoul twice a year now. Sun has visited Chicago once, meeting Jennifer's adoptive parents in an emotional reunion where Sun thanked them through tears for loving her daughter. Jennifer is learning Korean, slowly but steadily. Her kids call Sun Halmoni, grandma, and video chat with her every week. The hospital bracelet sits in a frame on Jennifer's dresser now, next to a photo from that first reunion, holding each other, both crying, both smiling. Two women who share the same eyes, the same blood, the same unbreakable connection. Jennifer looks at it every morning and remembers, some bonds can't be broken by distance or time. Some love lasts 40 years without a single word. Some stories end with two women holding each other in a language that needs no translation. She was baby girl Lee. She is Jennifer Kim. And she is, finally, completely, wholly herself. If Jennifer's journey stirred something in you, please subscribe to our channel for more powerful emotional stories, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below and tell us, what does family mean to you? Your stories matter, and we'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's never too late to find where you belong.